In the 14th century, the 1300s, a horrible disease struck Asia, Africa, and Europe. The people called this illness the Black Death. This disease started in Asia in the 1340s, but quickly spread to Africa and throughout places in Europe. The plague affected people, causing infecting red ring-shaped marks with dark center spots on their arms and necks. The people would run high fevers, and they would become very sick and eventually die. In just 2 years, 25 million people died of the plague. In 10 years, the plague had killed over 1/3 of Europe's population. Can you imagine the fear people must have felt? No one knew what was causing this illness. Some believed it was a punishment from God for being wicked. They believed that if you were bad, you would get the plague and your life would be over. At first, people locked their doors, trying to protect themselves. They carried flowers to get rid of the smell of the dying, and the skies were filled with ashes as people burned houses filled with the dead. People also tried to burn the villages filled with the dead to kill the disease. However, nothing was working. Outbreaks of the disease seemed to come in cycles. Just as people thought it was over, a new wave of illness would hit the towns, and from the towns it moved on to the villages. No one really knew that the illness was coming from infected rats. The towns were hit the hardest. There was no sanitation, and people threw their garbage out on the street, and the rats started to swarm in off of the ships that were docked at port just to get some food. Outbreaks of the plague continued for 200 years. The cause of the plague was not discovered until the 20th century. Today, this disease is called the bubonic plague. We have a vaccine for the plague should an outbreak ever happen again. We're lucky. The people in the Middle Ages did not have vaccines to protect themselves from many of the diseases that we encounter now.